fun topic right now is this meeting actually good? There are a lot of different ways to generate pipeline and to account for the fact that a meeting is actually happening. And to be completely frank, there's a large variance of what sometimes a BDR will say is a good meeting versus what an account executive or the marketing team will say is a good meeting. So one thing that we're hyper focused on is when our team is setting meetings to make sure that these meetings are actually good and happening and not just fake pipeline, is we track to see the level of the persona that the team is going after, as well as the conversion metrics associated with that meeting. So one thing that we aim for is whenever we're going after an account, we want to start as high as possible from our target personas. So for example, if we're going after marketing, let's go to the CMO first, because that's our main economic buyer. So we want to make sure the team, first and foremost, is gold on going after the right persona. And I literally, my managers and myself will do this. When the teams generate meetings, we go through the list of the meetings every single week to make sure that they're going after the right people. And the minute we start seeing that maybe it's like an intern or an analyst or someone that doesn't have any kind of purchasing power within the organization, that's when we kind of level set to make sure the team knows who and why they should be going after things. So that's the first thing that you really want to focus on, is making sure that at the very minimum, they're getting these meetings with your target accounts, your target personas, and going as high as possible. But the next thing that's probably most important of this, and we talk a lot about measuring the right stuff here at 6sense, is when those meetings are happening, tracking the speed of how quickly that meeting is turning into an opportunity, tracking the conversion rate of that opportunity going from a meeting to a stage one, or a SAL as some people called it, or a truly qualified opportunity. And the minute you start seeing things where like, your meeting from opportunity timeline is like a month or two, then that's when it's time to go back and make sure the team is actually getting the right meetings. The minute you see a situation where your meetings are not converting into qualified opportunities, that's when you need to go back and say, are we going after the right people? Is our messaging value focused enough to the point where people actually want to talk to us, or are they just meeting us because we saw they went to the same school as us on LinkedIn. But what's really important to recognize is there's a large variance of what people think is a good meeting versus not. And the way to kind of counter that and stay on top of it is to make sure that you're going after the right personas, you're tracking that on a consistent basis and keeping the team in line to make sure they're going after as high as possible, and then ultimately tracking conversions and the velocity of that opportunity of how it's progressing into truly qualified pipeline.